Welcome to the Herd's official YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out the Colin Cowherd podcast, all of our NFL instant reactions, and more football content.
This morning, I went and looked at the current draft order in the NFL. I mean, honestly, it looks like the last 10 years. The current draft order in the NFL, I'm going to name 9 of the top 10 teams. Stop me if you've heard them before. Jets, Browns, Dolphins, Saints, Titans, Bengals, Raiders, Giants, Cardinals. Baltimore's in there, but when Lamar comes back, they'll reel off wins. And I've said this before. Winning a Super Bowl is really, really hard. Winning in the NFL is not that hard. Take New England. Dynasty for 20-plus years with Belichick and Brady. They have back-to-back 4 and 13 seasons. Then they hire Vrabel. They have Drake Maye. They spend money in free agency. Right now, they're in first place. So some of these teams do really dumb things. I mean, take Miami. They could have drafted Herbert, a bigger, stronger, more dynamic arm over Tua. They chose Tua. Then Tua has multiple concussion issues. They sign him to an extension and don't protect him with a great O-line. Take Cleveland. They pass on Mahomes. Then they draft cocky Johnny Manziel. I'm a radio TV guy. I warned you. And then they give up 3 first-round picks and guarantee the contract to Deshaun Watson while he's in litigation. So Miami and Cleveland, you've earned it. You're bad for a reason. Tennessee, you let Mike Vrabel go. Not great. But New England proves for the next decade they're going to be really good, minimum. Vrabel's got 10 years left to coach, minimum. Drake Maye's going to play 10 years minimum if he doesn't get hurt. So it's I will tell you with the New York Jets, there's 4 things I would do in this order. Number 1, I would keep Aaron Glenn for the rest of the season. For a lot of reasons, I want a clean coaching search. And I don't think he's going to turn it around. Losses or wins. I would keep Aaron Glenn to the end of the season. Do not trade away any of your best players. Remember when Carolina traded DJ Moore? They get Bryce Young. He's got no number 1 receiver. Keep your best players. Stay out of the trade deadline stuff. Hire an offensive coach at the end of the year after letting Aaron go, and then just draft the best college quarterback available and let it bake for a few years. You may not turn it around overnight. Keep Aaron. Stay out of the trade deadline stuff. Stay out of it. Don't give up Breece Hall. Don't give up Garrett Wilson, Quinnen Williams. Keep your best players. Keep your coach. Then move on. Get an offensive guy. And by the way, go get Mike McCarthy. Don't get a position coach or a college coach or a coordinator. Just go spend money. That's what the Chargers did for years. And then they went, let's go spend $15 million a year and get Jim Harbaugh. Yeah, Denver, let's get Nat Hackett. No, let's get Sean Payton. Go get Mike McCarthy. Is he Andy Reid? No. But he's got a Super Bowl ring. He's dealt with no owner and a needy owner. Go get Mike McCarthy, end of the year, draft a quarterback. Don't do anything at the trade deadline. It's not that complicated. Hard to win Super Bowls, not hard to be competent. Well, 3 Super Bowl rings, a Super Bowl MVP, Fox NFL kickoff every Sunday. He's in Boston right now. It's Julian Edelman joining us here on a Thursday. So I imagine it's kind of like your hometown. I know you're from the Midwest, but you got your charities there. I imagine if you turn on sports radio, Drake Maye is getting the love. I imagine everybody in Boston is talking about Drake Maye. What do you make of him so far?
I think he's been doing real well, and he's definitely the talk of town here in Boston. I mean, I just went to breakfast. The guy over comes out, "Oh, Drake Maye, we're back. We haven't been back." And the excitement is definitely there, and they should have it because, I mean, he's thrown for 10 touchdowns. He's top 5 in passing yards, and he only had 2 interceptions. He's fumbled the ball 3 times, which he fumbled 10 times last year. So he's getting better each week, and they're winning ball games. So, I think this will be another good test for them this week. And, I'm excited just as much as everyone else because the better they are, the more I get to talk.
Yeah. When whether it's Tiger Woods, Serena Williams, your dynasty, the Warriors with Durant, the Chiefs, I do think, and maybe football's different, maybe Belichick made it different, but when you're just humming in football. The Chiefs right now feel like, man, the eye test. They're getting Rashee Rice back. How do you stay self-motivated when you know we got a better coach, we got a better quarterback, we got better schemes, we got better players? Is it hard to be Kansas City? Was it hard even though you mostly on Sundays had the better check across the board?
Yeah, and I would say that the Chiefs are not in that necessarily the category of we need to motivate. I think they're in the category of we've been good for so long. Each year we lose coaches, we lose players, a la Tooney in the middle of the line, guys suspended like Rashee Rice, and they use this first part of the season to really learn what they're going to be this year, their identity. And it took them a little more time because of the lack of practice we all talk about because of the CBA and all that. So they're still learning their team. Now, when it's week 11 and you're 8-1 or 8-3, and you're playing a team that's when you have to start creating motivation. But I don't think that's the category that these guys are in. I think they're just trying to figure out what they're doing. And the teams that really fall in love with the process of improving each week are the teams that are always there at the end, because you got to play with the injury bug. You're going to lose a couple guys in those first 6-7 weeks. Do you get them back in the back end? As long as the team continues to improve each week, those are the teams that succeed. And that's what the Chiefs have done for the last 6-7 years. They just continue to improve their team, look at the things they're deficient at, try to work on those scrap plays that they're not doing well, bring in a couple of their drawn up plays that, Coach Andy has them do on Friday after practice, whatever, that whole thing where everyone gets to contribute to bringing a play in. So I think that's where they are right now, is just trying to learn their team, and the league better strap up, because I think they're better than they are last year at this point.
Yeah, same here. The trade deadline's a couple weeks away. And my theory's always been, if you have a star quarterback, the Chargers, Josh Allen, but you have a deficiency, the Rams, you can go for it. Don't give up the house, but go for it. If the Giants, save your picks. You're not a Super Bowl contender. The interesting thing is, I don't remember New England doing a ton of trade deadline stuff. Obviously, sometimes you get to a point, week 7 or 8, and you're like, we have a hole. We need to slot corner. It's weird. You have this strong culture in New England. Hey, we're going to bring in an outsider. What did you make of it? What did you make of free agency and the trade deadline? Did you like it? I can't imagine busting my butt for years. All of a sudden, here comes a starter. If you're a corner, can it affect chemistry on the team?
It can, but that's when you rely on your leadership. I remember in 2012, we brought in Aqib Talib during the trade deadline.
Yep.
And because we had such a tight group of leaders on the team at that point, he came in and we were a lot better because of him. And then we built off that the next year, went to the AFC Championship and lost to Denver, and then he ended up signing in Denver. But, I think that all comes back to the leadership of your team. Like you said, usually the teams that are going to make these trades have the quarterback. And if the quarterback's the guy in the locker room that's the highest paid guy, playing the best, everyone else falls in line. So I'm all for bringing guys in, especially if you have a great chemistry and a great locker room.
Yeah. I remember Gronk one time going to the podium, and he was he said, I don't want to say this, coach is going to get really mad at me. And then I watched Tua go to the microphone and kind of throw the staff under the bus. And my take is, people make mistakes in life, but you wouldn't do that if you had a little fear with the head coach. You wouldn't call out the coaching staff with Andy Reid. You wouldn't do it, with Mike Tomlin. You wouldn't do it with Vrabel. I looked at Tua and I thought, that's my issue with Miami. Is I think Mike McDaniel's smart, but when a player goes and takes shots at the staff, that we got a culture issue. What did you make of that?
Yeah, we never did that. If there was ever a problem, you handle that closed doors with the team. We never talked about contracts. We never talked about drama, and we had drama. Okay, and that's honestly the way you're supposed to do it, because then it becomes a distraction to the team. Now, I think the Dolphins are just fundamentally designed this way. you bring in a bunch of guys that aren't culture guys. When it's time, when stuff's hitting the fan, who's going to be the serious guy? So I think they're just fundamentally wrong on how they're built. I think we got to take a look at who's building the team because, look, we paid Tua after he's been hurt a bunch. We bring in Tyreek Hill, and we all know what he is off the field. These are your best players. Who are their core nucleus guys? We don't know. They've never really had them. So I think this was a terrible way to handle it because, if there's a drama, you keep that in between your building in your meeting rooms, and you don't bring it out to the public. We've had way too much of this stuff in Miami for the last however long before Coach McDaniels.
It's funny. You hear these stories about Brady, and Brady was LFG. The difference is, I think Brady had some Baker Mayfield in him, but Tom was very measured when he go on EEI radio or the podium. I just think Tom hit it. I think he has some Baker. He had chutzpah. He could be at attitude. When I watch Baker, I think there's guys that have it. I just think Baker's not afraid to say it at the podium. Do you like his personality when he comes out and he just doesn't care what he's going to say at the podium?
Yeah, I love his personality because he's a dog. But the reason why it's working right now is because he's performing. And, when you can go out and show that you can make the plays in the high pressure situations, it makes everyone on the team believe. I played on a team where we thought we could win every week because of our quarterback. And it seems like right now, Tampa, they have such a belief in Baker, regardless if it's how he talks to the media or how he's playing, they believe. And when they believe, the defense plays a little better, the offense plays a little better, the special teams plays a little better because it's a quarterback league. And we all depend on the quarterback. So I think that's where the similarities are with Tom and Bake, are that everyone believes that they're the guy. If you believe he's the guy, it doesn't matter how you get him to believe, they're believing.
Finally, tonight we got two old 40-year-olds quarterbacking on Thursday night. Do you remember a game on Thursday when you had a big Sunday? Let's say you had 12 targets, 9 catches, and you got beat up a little. And all of a sudden, here comes Thursday. Were you still sore Wednesday night and Thursday morning?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Thursdays, your whole team key is let's just get out with a win. It's usually going to be a fundamental week because there's no practice. You're probably going to be in shells, or you're going to have accelerated walkthroughs. Everyone's trying to get their body to the best they possibly can. It'll be a real vanilla scheme, because you're going to run the best plays that your team runs the best at, because you're not going to have a lot of you're not going to have a lot of physical reps. And it always seems to be a division game whenever it's a Thursday. I felt like we played the Jets a bunch. So there is going to be that familiarity. There's going to be that rivalry. But it's whatever it takes to get the win. And Aaron right now is playing that way. He's doing what it takes to win ball games, not put up huge numbers. And I think he's doing a great job. And I believe that they're going to come in. I know they don't do very well on the Pittsburgh Steelers don't do well on Thursday nights on the road or whatever. But I think this is a different year with Aaron. He seems to be in a good space. The team believes in him. And I know that they haven't played anyone very special yet. But when you continue to collect wins, you gain confidence. And all these guys are looking up at their quarterback. They haven't seen a guy like that since Big Ben got hurt his last year, or a couple years before his last year. So, I'm excited to see what the Steelers do. The Thursday night games, you're definitely sore. You definitely want to get out of there, and you want to get the game done with a win, because it is a baby bye afterwards. So everyone's got a little light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah.
Julian Edelman, Games with Names podcast, doing his local charities in Boston, as he's prone to do when he goes back home, and it's great seeing him.
Put me in, baby. Put me in, and Boys and Girls Club of Boston, everyone go check them out.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy.
All right, guys. Julian Edelman.
Yeah, Thursday night games are my bigger issue is the dual Monday night games. Well, what's the point? You're taking quarterback. I mean, you took Josh Allen out of the Sunday window, and then you took Caleb and Jaden Daniels out of the Sunday window. So back-to-back weeks, once It was like, I think it was a bye for the Bears, and then it was Monday night. Like, what are you doing? The Bears are one of the more fascinating teams in the league. If you want to put the Jets on Thursday night and take them out of the 1 o'clock window, I'm good with it. But, I'm getting a lot of Cam Ward and Spencer Rattler on Sunday. I want more Josh Allen. I actually think, it's interesting. I think Drake Maye now has become a very good watch. I think Michael Penix in Atlanta's offense are a really good watch. Keep them on Sunday.
Let me ask, Colin, can I ask you something real quick? Because I like this take by you. So what do you view as the marquee draw for the NFL? Sunday, 7 hours, or Monday Island game, Sunday night Island game, Thursday Island game?
I think if you ask the NFL, the 4 big games are the CBS Fox Sunday late, Sunday Night Football, singular Monday.
Okay, but as a fan.
Let me tell you something. I watch Red Zone, early window. I don't like Red Zone late. I would rather watch big screen one game. There's usually one great game late window, sometimes 2. I don't need to watch the Arizona Cardinal game or the Saints game in the late window. The red zone, the red zone to me is real. I look forward to. I've looked forward to it since it came out. I really don't. I understand Amazon. They have a reservoir of money. You're going to get into the streaming business. That's Fox had it for a year or two. Was it a year? Amazon comes in. I get it. But the dual Monday night, I don't get the winner. Because now you're asking me to choose. There's 2 games on.
Yeah.
And I wanted to watch Josh Allen. And frankly, I wanted to watch Penix. He's a Husky. I wanted to watch him play. Okay, now I'm watching the Bear. Well, now we got a Dodger game on. So now you got baseball playoff game. Yeah. And the NFL wins all the time. But for me, when the Dodgers were playing, I had the Dodgers on the biggest screen. Because baseball, you have to watch closely. I can watch the smaller screen football games and follow it. You need to hear a baseball game and kind of, how they're trying to solve their pitching moves. So I think the NFL has always been able to just throw their games on and they get a big audience. But when if you had a Yankee Dodger World Series, for me, Dodgers Mariners, or 2 games on Monday, I'm watching the World Series.
Well, I think ideally as a fan, they would love Sunday, 6 in the early window, 6 in the late window. Because you're right. Sometimes the late window has 3 games, and it's like the Saints, the Cardinals, bad teams. I like the split, but they won't do that because obviously they want big numbers and ad revenue. And I get it. It's a business, capitalism. But from a fan's perspective. Yeah.
So this week, Baker Mayfield and the Lions are on Monday. Baker's an incredible watch. You just took him out of Sunday. And Detroit, coming off that loss to Kansas City, that's going to be one of the top 3 games of the weekend.
Yeah.
And then Texans at the Seahawks. Again, C.J. Stroud, Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Those are top 15 quarterbacks.
Those are 4 of the top 12 teams
in the league. You take Goff, Baker, C.J. Stroud, and Darnold out of the Sunday window. Well, what are you doing? I'm obviously... Yeah.
Well, there was Justin Fields against Tua in a Monday, and that's like unwatchable. So what's the answer? It is tough, but I like Sundays, man. 7 hours just laying around watching every game.
Same.
To me, that's the best. And I don't want to see a bunch of backup quarterbacks. It kind of kills it.
Yeah. This week, USC plays Notre Dame. And I was reading an article today. Is the annual Notre Dame USC football game that big of a deal anymore? Well, it's a big deal. It's not Ohio State and Michigan. I don't know if it's Auburn, Alabama, certainly close. Is it Oklahoma, Texas? It's one of those traditional rivalries. But tradition, let's be honest, you can pay high school players now. The portal, you can get 60 new players a year. The college football playoff, traditionalists have had a really rough last 3 years. And they all lectured us and told us, college football was in big trouble. No, it's not. Ratings have been up back-to-back years. It's great. So ask yourself about USC Notre Dame. Is it convenient? No. Is it necessary? Well, not for USC. This relationship has become uneven. And when they do, it's time to renegotiate. Consider USC Trump and Notre Dame NATO. We need to sit down and talk because Notre Dame needs this game because they're not 100% in the conference. They lost to A&M and Miami. They desperately need to beat USC and then USC to win the rest of their games. They need USC. Now the Indiana Hoosiers are a powerhouse, apparently. USC has 9 games a year. They will include Ohio State and Michigan and Penn State and now Indiana, and Nebraska looks okay. And your rival UCLA that beat Penn State and Washington and Oregon. This game is not convenient and it's not necessary, right? For USC, this game is just one more roadblock to the playoff. For Notre Dame, it's a necessity to potentially get to the playoff. So if I was Jen Cohen, I would say, okay, we'll do it every other year. And the game has to be played in September. We have no interest playing in a blizzard. But okay, join the Big Ten Conference, then we'll play. USC does not need Notre Dame. This is uneven. Notre Dame desperately needs USC. Go look at Notre Dame's schedule. It's a lot of Navy, North Carolina State, from a bad conference, the ACC. There's just a lot of games here. Stanford, Boise State, Boston College. Notre Dame needs SC. And then if you look at USC, even with losing to Illinois, but they beat Michigan. What if they beat Nebraska? What if they beat Notre Dame or Oregon? They don't need Notre Dame. So I would sit down. This is now an uneven relationship, and I would say I'm willing to play you every other year. But it's going to be in the first 4 to 5 weeks of the season. That's what negotiations are all about. This is not convenient to USC anymore. It is simply a hurdle, especially if Marcus Freeman stays there for the next 8 years, a top 5 college coach. What am I getting out of it? And all you traditionalists that get upset, you also lectured us that the NIL was going to ruin the sport. Didn't. You lectured us that the portal would ruin the sport. Hasn't. That the college football playoff would just kill rivalries. No, it's going to create new ones. Michigan Notre Dame used to play every year. They don't. Michigan since won a national championship, and Notre Dame is once again a power. So I think Notre Dame wins this weekend, and I think Marcus Freeman's got it rolling, and they're a better team than they were a month ago. So is USC, perhaps. But this game with cold weather, better quarterback potentially, better consistent run game is going to be a Notre Dame weekend. But I see this all the time. I see this with AI. Everybody's saying, oh, it's going to ruin the economy. I'll argue it's going to expand it. Every time we've had a new energy or something, it could be fire. It could be the internet. It could be AI. What happens? The economy grows. Everybody's terrified of AI. I'm like, yeah, it'll displace some lower level, the lower level jobs. Absolutely. But it will expand the economy. And my take on the college football playoff and the NIL and the portal, it'll expand college football. It'll feel bigger, more big games. And so USC does not have a big game shortage. There will be years USC will look at their schedule. You and I will look at the schedule and go, we got to play Ohio State, at Penn State, at Indiana, at Oregon. Yeah, we get Washington and Michigan at home. There'll be years USC's like, yikes. So all the traditionalists freak out. Baseball traditionalists. Pitch clock, bigger bases. Baseball's ratings up. Baseball attendance up. Baseball speed up. Traditionalist college football is going to ruin it. You can keep wearing that Letterman jacket and telling me USC Notre Dame's a must. The world's changed. This is 2025. Now I have to face my biggest rivals in the Pac-12, Washington, Oregon, UCLA, and Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State, and now Indiana's good. Welcome on a Thursday. Greg Cosell, 1 hour from now. Get a lot of feedback, get a lot of pushback on that. But you kept telling me NIL portal was going to ruin the sport. No, it hasn't. The great teams are still great. Ohio State still rolls. Georgia and Bama are still excellent. Notre Dame's really good. Texas has all sorts of talent. So does USC, Oregon. All the good teams are still good. And by the way, since the NIL was created, we have a new power potentially, Indiana. I thought the NIL and the transfer portal were going to hurt the little guy. We got a little guy now from a basketball school that just went to Austin and pushed the Ducks all over the field. So a little guy has emerged potentially as a legitimate big-time program. Nebraska's been dead for 25 years. Now they got a winning record. They're on a roll. So the NIL and the transfer portal have not hurt the little guy at all. Oh, by the way, Texas Tech is now vying for the playoff. Indiana got into the playoff. So I don't buy all this traditionalist nonsense, all this fear-mongering at all. College football's never been better, and it could survive with Notre Dame USC playing every other year in September. JMac, that will unfortunately be met by the traditionalists who just don't like any. Look, by the way, the NBA, Luka goes Dallas to Los Angeles. It was going to ruin the Mavericks. Mavericks are still good. They got Cooper Flagg. They got the best front line in the league. They're gigantic. They'll be a playoff team. They'll be viable. Everybody's telling me stuff's going to end sports and end franchise. How about baseball? Dodgers have too much money. Mariners have a lead in the American League, in the American League Championship Series. The Milwaukee Brewers are playing the Dodgers. All I heard about is, oh my God, all the money in baseball. Yeah, the Dodgers are great. The Yankees are out. The Mets didn't make the playoffs. So, I think we're fine.
Well, speaking of money, all it takes is somebody to pony up and say, hey, USC and Notre Dame, we will pay you a lot of money to play every year. And you know these programs, they would love to take money hand over fist for a meeting every year. Right, Colin? Would you agree with that? If the number's right, if somebody came, streaming or network, said, hey, we'll give you $10 million to play a football game, one-off every year, don't you think they would do it?
Well, listen, college football was an $8 billion annual business with no president, no CEO. Think about that. The reason UFC took over boxing is Dana White. They had a central figure, a centralized CEO president to make calls. Boxing just had greedy promoters. And so college football for years, it had its opportunity to get its act together. But the Big Ten would play 9 conference games. The SEC would play 8 conference games. Some teams, powerhouses, are playing Youngstown State and Citadel. Other teams are going out of conference playing Auburn and legitimate Oregon. So it was an uneven, poorly run sport. So ESPN and Fox came in and said, we're going to kind of run this thing. We're going to make some changes. All of them are worked. The playoff's going to be bigger and bigger every year. Now you have venture capital firms in New York and San Francisco and Los Angeles that want to invest in programs. The Big Ten may take $2 billion from like a VC. So, I mean, I constantly hear, I don't mean to be a wet blanket, but there's so much fear-mongering in politics and sports. It's all going to be okay.
Yeah.
USC, Notre Dame play every other year in September. That's fine. There's new rivalries every year now with this, the scheduling, the Big Ten, the Pac-12. The Pac-12 disappeared. And yet the ratings are up. An entire conference left, and the sport's growing and great.